So adding that on to him, having a lot, and also at the top of it, he's still drawing 3 bans.
Yeah.
He's being triple banned every game by Team Imagine. So Calitrolls is pulling his weight on this squad in picks and bans and in the game.
You can say that. Watch this one not be a triple ban towards him.
No, they're going to ban Gangplank.
Silly.
That just seems so strange, though, that you're banning Gangplank Fiora every game for Chunky Fresh. Well, look at that. They dropped the Thresh ban, and they banned the Olaf from Chunky Fresh, forcing him possibly onto the Hecarim or Scion. I know it's just one little thing down for him.
Yeah.
But they're going to go for the Thresh first here for Baby.
I like it. All right. So they also don't show anything. Baby gets a comfort champion, can make plays. They can decide what to do and how to get him in and out of situations. That is the jungler or anybody else needing the lantern. But right back to the Orianna. Blind picks it. Feels like it's going to be a good matchup. And the Tristana is again for Nian 4 straight games.
Yeah, it'll probably be Steelback once again on Sivir. Both these AD carries shouldn't really mix anything up too much.
Oh, that's a good point.
They're both feeling very confident in their play. And honestly, I think both teams should feel confident in the way that they've been playing this game relative to each other. I feel like they both shouldn't change up too much in picks and bans. You saw it with the bans. Only the Olaf is the only one that changes. Because both teams are actually having fairly good games against each other.
Did see that
Nobody's
Yasuo hover on the other side of Team 8 for a moment. Also, talking about AP junglers, Moon's Nidalee also quite good along with his Evelynn, but the Evelynn's going to be locked in once again. They're going to go with the Lulu. I've not really liked the Lulu on the side of Imagine's composition here, and they're also lacking quite a bit of damage already, barring he goes AP Evelynn again. But hopefully they can get something to explode in these team fights.
Yeah, picking it up again, seeing if it'll have success this time. I would have liked to have seen a Victor from ManCloud. I would have liked to have seen something else.
Right.
But
he's the guy that had the most kills in the league at one point.
That's true. That's true. He used to be that big assassin player. Now he's just
Bazooka on his shoulder.
Doing wave clear, being supplemental to the team. They don't have the Olaf this time, though. You have the Lulu, and it's not going to be paired with an Olaf. I want to see what they give Chunky Fresh in the top lane. Because top lane carries, or else you're going to have pretty much a mono-threat composition, possibly having Moon be another threat on this team. I want to see what they go with here.
The Sivir's there. Ashe ready for initiation, but they have a bit of that. The Graves possibly to come out does deliver a bit of that front-end damage they could be looking for in these fights, as well as Steelback's own ability to beat himself. The Hecarim comes in for Chunky Fresh, and the Jinx will be pulled out for Steelback. Game 4, definitely pulling out some stops here for themselves.
Looking for some safety for this Jinx, too. When you have the Thresh, it's okay to play Jinx, and then you also have Lulu to supplement her. So I think that this is actually really good. If you put a lot on Steelback, the veteran in a high-pressure situation, this is a guy who went to Game 5 against SKT.
Yep.
He's gone to Game 5s before. He's had the pressure. This is only Game 3, but your enemy is on match point. They could take the entire thing right now. So he's played at much bigger venues with much more pressure on him. Why not invest in this guy? Put more on his shoulders.
Yep.
Steelback has been having a good series against Nian.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Goes deeper than just Steelback having all that experience within this series. He's been definitely making his mark. As we said, within the games where things weren't going well, he still performs quite well for the team. So he's always a rock that they can kind of lean on when they need it. The Kayle gets picked up. Callie's going for the Kayle in the top lane. It's been quite a while since we've seen her join that.
About a year ago.
Just about. Good hiatus.
Thinking about it now. It was when the AP mages, Ryze, Kayle, and Lissandra were very popular in the top lane.
You're getting that jungle love recently. Devourer.
It's true. Got some jungle love, got some mid lane love from UOL and Renegades.
Yeah.
Both Devourer junglers, both Devourer laners. And I did not like both of those, those Kayle picks.
Well, we'll see Kelly.
But I like this one a little more.
He's going to see what he can do. It's also going to give them a bit more safety if Nian goes a little crazy this fight. If he feels like jumping in, they'll have the savior for him.
That's why you picked the Kayle. In case Nian wants to go crazy again, you give him a shield, make sure he can't die. Everything's good.
Everybody kind of has a way to make themselves get out, except for Orianna here, really. You got the Alistar ult, you can repel. Hopefully Kayle's use their ultimate, or Tristana can rocket jump. So it's going to be a very slippery team from Team 8 here for Imagine to lock down, and they really want to coming into this game to keep their dreams alive of LCS spots. Tell us how you think this series is going to play out. Tweet at LOL Esports with the hashtag IMG win or the hashtag T8 win. We will update those as usual throughout the game, and possibly the final game point here for Team 8 if they can grab another win on the Rift and re-secure their spot in the LCS, as we see Team Imagine fighting now out of the Challenger Series, and here this could be their last chance unless they put this game under their belt.
And they almost had the previous game.
So close.
One positional error.
It was kind of like a two-part lead, and then the third part in the late game just fell apart. You had the mid, you had the early.
That's the most important part.
That's the end.
You see people have leads early game, and then they don't have it later. And it's the most important part. You see people with deficits early, and they come together. Then they get a lead later.
That's the most important part. We'll see who gets it first. We have seen teammate come from that deficit and also do it from a lead. So
yeah,
they know what it's all about.
Play the game perfectly, but if you don't play it perfectly around Baron, 40 minutes in the game, 30 minutes in the game.
That almost becomes my favorite point. When everybody's maxed out items, summoner spells are up, you're testing each other in the endurance of the game as well as how well you can play that champion at max item, max abilities, max stats, depending on what's around you and what you have. It's always my favorite part. It obviously is the make or break fight, but it's fun to get there and attempt it because it's the end moment you hardly ever experience. Your adrenaline is just continuously going. We'll see if they bring it that late. We haven't had too many games go super long in this series. Our last series reached about a 40-50 minute game at the end there, as both teams kind of sized each other up nicely like by the end of the series.
56-minute game,
yeah,
I think.
It's close.
Very, very long one. See, though, both junglers, once again, going with the adaptations they had made to start on the bottom side of the map for both of them. But no lane swap again.
This favored Imagine heavily in the beginning.
This is also a lane where you can get a lot of pick, a lot of catches here, and it's a very easy to gank lane for Moon. Moon wants to take a trip down here.
That cleanse is going to be a bit of a bugger as he tries to get in. I think he'll be able to get it out safely. Same side start again, so mirroring what pretty much happened going into Game 3 here in Game 4 now. See him meet towards the bot lane. We saw Moon get a lot of early kills in the bot lane. It'll be kind of telegraphed to go for the same thing this time. But with the hook, it may be that much easier.
Get that early hook. They're also pushing this wave up a little bit faster. If they can actually clear these minions, they'll get level 2.
I like
what's that last one waiting on it.
There it is. Yep.
There you go.
Yeah, they can tell. You see Dodo in the end backing off. I also like the small adaptation. CSing by Chunky Fresh. He's the one who comes back toward lane with a pink ward this time. That was what Cali Trolls did last time, and him and Porpoise started to harass Chunky Fresh a lot. He should be able to stop that for a bit now once he gets his ward out. Looking to get the lane pushed. Throw that down.
This kill does a lot of harassing, but that's in between a long cooldown. He's not going to get blue buffs.
True.
And CER in his build will most likely be Nashor's Tooth dependent. So it'll be a while before this Kayle actually has a good pattern to her. But you have to play around these E's.
Moon is ready. Very nice timing by him. He's going to double off right to the tri-brush. He leaves.
Hey!
It's going to be Moon. Oh, there's the exclamation. They see him. Cocoon comes out. Chunky Fresh wasn't actually in the way. It's going to be Cali getting it to it first, and that's Moon going down. Porpoise refreshes his double buffs. Chunky Fresh is really trying to clean this one up. Every last bit that he can get out, and he does come up with the kill. But that's the kill assist over to Team 8.
The same route as before. Both these junglers are going to clash top lane in that tri-brush with everything just going perfect on a timer. And the Cocoon landed, and Moon used his W right before it landed. So the speed buff was just wasted.
Right. That's very unfortunate to have happen, but Porpoise, nice and fast with the fingers, able to get the kill that he needed, and 2 there. So completely switched up. That was, as we said, Moon getting 3 in the beginning. Let's see how Porpoise can catapult the team now in every one of the lanes into a good position. Cali Trolls, this means he comes back with more wards now, and that pink ward is instantly taken down the Chunky Fresh had. So vision for him to be that much harder on the top lane.
Think about it from a mentality standpoint too. You had game 3, you're coming into game 4, you give up 2 kills early.
Yeah, right.
You were operating from a lead in the last game.
And that's just after somebody says, all right, we got this.
Yeah.
And boom.
This happens. And now you really need somebody to tell you that you still got this. You still have this.
This is when silence becomes chaos. This is where you need that one guy to still speak up, say, don't even worry. Just like you said, there's the late game. We still have the late game. Just don't let this happen anymore and play it safe. See if they can make some of their own advantages. It looks like they're going to be taking a lot of heat towards that top side, though. Ignite, teleport on that Chunky Fresh. And Porpoise was just wandering around that area once more, but it's too pushed up, so you may see a lot of ganks on him coming through.
And the best way to start off, possibly the last game of your career for Cali Trolls. 2 kills in the top lane going over to the jungler.
Feels good.
On the back of you. You're ready to put your team in the LCS and leave them there. And then look back on it like the legacy he wants to create.
Also may make it difficult. Don't know when the last time Chunky Fresh played against the Kale in the top lane, so if that Kale gets going, he may not be able to get the right instances of farming that he wants. Towards Golden Glue in the mid, not enough crowd control to lock him down though. Just trying to say hello, get a little damage.
Porpoise has a moderate advantage here coming in.
Oh.
He's up about
Angry
700 gold off those 2 kills and a little bit of farming he picked up as well.
That feels really good for a jungler.
Oh, it feels great. You have your Bomby Cinder. They don't even have it yet. They don't even have a Ruby Crystal.
So at that point, when you're that far ahead, do you keep pushing lanes, or do you get yourself farther ahead to an item and then push lanes as a jungler? Or go to kill lanes, I should say.
You keep finding the enemy jungler. You keep trying to beat him places or run him around the map. Make sure he can't do anything.
So Moon avoiding right now is doing great.
Yeah.
Although on Eve, it's a little easier.
Yeah, Moon's also trying to find ways to get into the game as well by ganking lanes, running up to them. But what Porpoise should be doing is trying to bully him around a little bit and playing counter gank. Or forcing, because now he has all the options, right? Because he is objectively stronger than Moon at this point in the game. His 2v2 skirmish will be better if you pair up with anybody else on your team.
Right.
Especially as Elise. Elise is an amazing skirmish.
They just ping the wards out on the bot side. Yeah, ManCloud says you're going to get seen down there. So that probably means lanes play safe. Making a visit from Porpoise. Looks like he might head towards the top side or see what the Scuttlecraft situation is in that mid lane. Negatron Cloak for Chunky Fresh as he's trying to just weather the damage coming in from Cali Trolls every so often in that top lane.
It can always be a dive, though, because
it can always be a dive.
He's 6 right now, though, so he might be able to do something here. Oh, there they go.
Olaf or Hecarim. He's still going to get hit up in the top lane. The Fair to Cali. There goes the ultimate. He's going to be able to save him. No, intervention wears off just as the last turret shot hits, but they still are able to get the kill assist coming through. Chunky does get himself another kill, though. He keeps going down with a little bit of gold.
Yeah, it's a Fed at least, though.
It is.
But here's the thing. Now. You were talking about he goes down with a little bit of gold in his pocket, so Chunky Fresh 2-0 in kills.
Straight for those boots.
Go straight for the home card. He'll probably be dying a little more. We'll see.
Well, he's going to be running right to the fight now.
But he's getting 2 kills right now. So he's actually even in gold with Cali Trolls. And he's actually good to go. I like that. Great skirmish power, able to pick him up, lands everything, and identifies who has turret aggro. Porpoise should have taken turret aggro first because he can drop it.
Oh, that turret.
That's one of those ones where you turn around so it hits you a little bit sooner, but he's right there. The Hecarim will kill you. So
that's so true.
He's in between a rock and a hard place at that point. But yeah, I was talking about Porpoise should have taken aggro first. A little bit of a misplay there.
Right, up, down.
Like he landed everything. Could have repelled that. But yeah, the gold, the 2 kills going over to Chunky Fresh means that his 2 kills and his gold is always in opposition to Cali Trolls, who just has 3 assists. So in terms of gold, I believe they're actually...
Yeah, look at that.
They're still very, very close. They're still very close to even. I think Chunky's down 100. Yeah. That's it, despite being camped. The real gold advantage is Porpoise now over Moon.
And you know how good, not good Moon is feeling, but he is praising Chunky Fresh for being able to repair some of these instances because Moon's always been on the other side of the map doing different things. So big props to Chunky Fresh for kind of weathering this storm along with the Kale top lane so far. See if Moon actually starts to give a little bit more love to the top lane, and he is starting to hover that side of the map. Although teammates' wards, they are really keeping track of where he is. It's going to be hard for him to make moves.
It might be too little too late for Moon at this point. He's 1,200 gold behind with completion of Cinder Hulk and a sight stone, a full sight stone behind. 1,200 gold. The farm, the kills, he gets Scuttle Crabs more often. you're an Evelyn too, you really rely on being slightly ahead so you can have your skirmish power, getting those ganks. But now Porpoise just gets free reign of the map here. You can see, oh, the cocoon, the red buff slow.
So they have timing of 1430 on the blue buff. They know the junglers towards the top side are backing, so they go for the bot gank. Team 8, their vision is just giving them everything they want right now.
Yeah, this is falling apart for Imagine. Imagine was a team coming into this, they are actually impressing in this series. Because they're playing better than they did in the Challenger Series. They're taking Team 8 up against the ropes. Team 8 is trying to find advantages game 2, game 3. They get one in game 3 and they end up closing the game. But this one, it just looks like Imagine is falling apart at the seams. And this is a squad that had come together halfway through the season. They were able to turn their season around.
Right.
You'd think they'd be able to turn this series around, get their fortunes going. It's looking pretty grim right now. 2,000 gold advantage, 10K in. It's not insurmountable, but still. You have to worry about it. Porpoise is going to be a huge part of this game. Baby.
Oh no, from last game to this game as well. No forward vision on the map. Moon still trying to do what he can. It might be an I think I can situation, and they do think they can. Going after Dodo, they pick up a kill. Support for support. Definitely saved there by Imagine to quickly collapse on that play.
Chunky Fresh not needed for the TP. It's actually a wasted TP.
Good call there.
Oh, and he just backed. He's gonna get TP'd on here. His team is in trouble.
Oh no, this could be a huge play from Team 8. Such a nice coordination on the back of the TP. The instant entry from Cali Trolls as well to get themselves a kill on Moon, who's already been having a tough game, was hoping to pick up some experience and at least CS there out of the jungle.
It was the overreach for that blue buff. Once you start getting a little bit of that advantage closed, you can't get too greedy. You are still weaker in terms of gold.
See one more time. So Baby goes for the
cocoon,
play.
But it doesn't matter.
This was, had they not been walking down river, this would have been an in and out for Team 8 here. So Imagine already definitely having something on the plate as they moved in. TP goes.
Dodo is done no matter what.
Yep. So they actually don't see him fully back.
Yeah, he kills the ward, but then they actually don't see him walk up further.
That's true. They don't see him go up or down.
Because they had that ward that Cali teleported to, so they knew that he wasn't around the blue.
Gotta do it quick if you're gonna do it. Calls from Team 8 are on point here.
Yeah, Cali would have gotten that turret pushed all the way in, would have cleared another wave, and TP'd, or he would have just made that play right there without having to clear the wave. Either is fine, but this one was more time sensitive, so he went with the play that he saw immediately, and ended up paying off because Chunky hit back.
Golden Glue playing some mind games. Going down, going up, dipping in and out of lane there, so he can play Man Cloud on a bit of damage coming out of the fog of war.
Oh, going a little far forward for that.
Cali Trolls getting hit. Moon's going to try to go into the turret. They have the intervention, and the turret is now under minion pressure, but not enough. Just enough for the ultimate. They get him out of lane. Might be a good follow-up here for Chunky Fresh, but good help from Moon to the top side to relieve some pressure there that he was receiving constantly.
That's going to be Porpoise to the bottom lane, and they don't really have ward coverage of this. They have to give up this bottom lane turret.
Blue team's turret has been destroyed.
You see Steelback shaking his head a bit, knowing the early part of this game has not gone their way. Every time they try to do something in a different lane, it's countered by Porpoise, you know, with the rest of the team getting more on the other side of the map.
Porpoise MVP right now.
He's playing
100%
very, very well.
Looking for a flank here. Baby is also around the side. Oh no, he missed it.
Unbreakable Will also goes on. Golden Blue tries to get out with the flash. The save is there. He cleansed himself out, and the team's able to somewhat pick up some damage here. Porpoise now into Man Cloud. Can they finalize the play back from Baby? There's the hook just outside of the hood in the end. Could not get him on his little elf hat, and they get out safely. Very scattered as well.
They still get to push up this mid lane. Man Cloud has no mana. He doesn't have wave clear. He has to back. And that's to deal with steal back, but that's it. You're still going to be able to take this down. That's a win there for Team 8. Team 8, they're really taking this game forward.
And you think had Baby hit the hook or something else happened? No, because Dodo's ult would have just broken that and he would have walked away anyways, right? They need the vision up. That's what they're lacking. Game 2, their vision was on the up and up. Now it's just completely out the window and they have not put any down this game. Or it's instantly being cleared. It's both, really. Team 8 has a stranglehold on this game 4.
LCS. They want to be back in the LCS.
Yeah.
Cali wants to be able to leave with that legacy.
They've gone about it in a way of comfort.
Yeah.
Tristana across the board. See Porpoise going back to Elise. Back to Elise.
Orianna for Golden Glue.
Yep. Goes back to a mainstay champion that he played if he, as we said, wasn't on Varus or Ezreal or something poking in the mid lane. Usually wasn't a big conventional mid laner, but if he does, it's going to be that Orianna. Now Team 8 on a turret shutout here after the first 3. They've taken down the outer layer of Imagine, which does mean Imagine has some gold sitting in those turrets. When are they going to reach it, though?
Or if they ever reach it.
Yeah. Very strong game by Team 8 in the end.
They are Jinx comp. If they end up getting a Zeke's Harbinger, force Steel back at some point in this game and get him towards that 100% or 90% crit build, he'll be able to take over mid-game team fights and just obliterate this team. Because you look at this team on Team 8, nobody's going to get tanky. It's just Porpoise. It'll be Porpoise, and then Cali Trolls will save one person. When you're AoE critting people from an extraordinarily long range, you're in a good spot.
Where's Dodo Zeke's?
It looks like it might be the Gales coming through.
I guess so.
Or he might go for, I believe that might be Talisman Ascension.
Interesting. Yeah, that's true. Oh, the last hit! Oh! The mad
bounced
cow
off of him.
crushes down the horse. Just squashing pumpkins left and right on that one. The flash in on Baby! He gets a quick hit there. Baby gets obliterated, and this is not looking good for Imagine now. Team 8 has taken full control of Game 4. A 7,000 gold lead, one of the biggest through the series that we've had. And they are on to the inhibitor turrets in 16 minutes.
And they have the siege to do so. Steelback is not here. That's going to be an inhibitor turret going down. Possibly an inhibitor off of this as well. Team 8 have turned the gas on for Game 4. They want to stay in the LCS.
They really have, looking to keep that spot. And Cali Trolls is looking to keep the promise to the team. There goes ManCloud. It goes down. Baby gets hit by the shockwave. He just came up. He's going to go down. Cali Trolls with the intervention saves himself and the shield as well to boot. They are getting out with kills and an inhibitor, and they'll rinse and repeat in just a few.
And it's only 17 minutes, and that's an 8,000 gold lead.
So
and
fast.
An inhibitor down on the opposite side of the map from Baron. They get to just roam the jungle. They get the dragon on their way out as well. Team 8, like I said, they want to stay in the LCS. You can see how badly they want it in this game.
Oh, like you said earlier, ManCloud, where the Victor laser's there to clear waves, the damage you can be providing instead of ulting people. I mean, you're getting engaged on here. If you caught back or kite back and fight,
in this fight.
Boom.
Yeah, he
is Victor there. You still died.
Yeah,
fair enough.
That didn't matter. They pretty much went through the batting order too.
Yeah,
Baby died,
right around.
Came back, died again. Just gave up so many kills there. And Chunky Fresh even used his TP for a flank, but his team had died by the time that he actually came through, so he just trotted right on by using that summoner spell.
Would definitely like to see ManCloud on the damage guy. Obviously, we've seen Lulu's carry quite hard. Ryu can do it well. We've seen quadra kills and whatnot from him, but just does not deliver as much as the guy who got the most kills split. Like, I keep saying that like it was an amazing thing.
Yeah.
He did it. The team obviously helped, but that's his style of play. That's his mindset. He wants to be in the fight, not shielding, supporting. It's obviously the team's choice. I feel like he'd be doing a lot better on something to just take the enemy team down. Opinion.
Yeah.
All opinion. But definitely not helping this game. 203. Golden Glue still on that Orianna, doing very well. 5-0-3 for Nian's Tristana as it follows through for another game. Cali Trolls and Porpoise really showed up to that top lane. They kept putting pressure on Chunky.
Porpoise.
Yep.
He showed up top lane multiple times. You show up top lane 3 times. Like, well, what are you doing here? Why are you here? And he ended up getting so much for it. The first one, 2 kills. The next one, got another kill for himself. And then at that point, you just get a turret, you keep diving.
Yeah.
Porpoise really put the game on its head. And that just shows how important it is for a jungler and a top laner to have a synergy between them. And then you saw how far behind he was put. And this Evelyn just is shut down. Steelback has to clear waves, and they lose another turret in the top lane here. Just off of the rotations, and the fact that they have super minions in the bottom lane. It's still so early on. Handling super minions with 1 item as Infinity Edge?
That's a huge point.
It's so hard. The minion does more damage than you.
pretty much getting knocked out of the fight. You can see it takes Steelback at least 4 or 5 shots to take the melees down at this point as well. With what's coming in, that's going to be a dead baby. He goes for a hook, more of a deterrent than anything. He didn't think the engage would actually be there, but as sure as Team 8 is about their composition right now, they'll take anything that looks like an engage. Baby goes down once again, 5 kills, as he had just about 6 last game. It starts amounting to just too much for the team to handle. Now onto the next inhibitor turret. Just at 20 minutes in, this one looks like it'll drop without too much pressure.
Yeah, they're systematically pulling them apart. 0-5, it's a dead baby, and no, that's not a joke.
He's alive.
Oh,
we're safe.
Over and over again.
12-3. This one again started a little slower, but Team 8 made sure to turn this one on and put it in their favor immediately. Like you're saying, Porpoise was playing well, but everybody on the team has used this lead and not given up an inch. 0 kills across the guys that are carrying right now, playing very well.
Team 8 adapted very well. They noticed that the synergy between Moon and Chunky Fresh is something they're forcing over time.
Yes.
It actually isn't as strong as the Porpoise Cali Troll synergy. And then bottom lane, they were saying Baby likes to overextend for these wards. And they caught him over and over and over again for it. And then Porpoise was just tanky enough to go for dives, tanky enough to force things off of the top lane.
It almost became kind of one direction as well for Imagine. You knew Chunky Fresh, Olaf, he's going in. Chunky Fresh, Olaf, he's going in. Something for Chunk. In almost every game, he was hit up 2, 3. The first game, 4 in the top lane, and the second one. And then their Imagine adapted a little bit, but Team 8 just did it a little differently. Now it was a 2-man crew with a bit more power to the lane itself, and they just rinse and repeat. Really well played, like you said, adaptation by Team 8 here. And as well, a team from the LCS should be keeping their LCS spot if you think about it. Been through that experience.
Just based off experience.
Just
play against really high-level teams. You learn over time, and you even just sit there and go, oh, they did this creative thing to us. Even if we're losing, we're still getting, oh, baby, that's a little aggressive.
Going for broke, baby. And it's going to be Moon that could go down first. The Agony's Embrace does a bit of damage. It gives him a shield to keep himself alive. And that's the jump in we were looking for from Nien. He's been doing it all series long. Can he finish another one? No stops for him. Only 1 kill coming up there in the beginning. There's the stomp coming up. He's going to get the kill as the reset does actually come around. Over to ManCloud. He's got no mana. The explosive charge is on, but we'll have to wait a little bit longer before he's put down. No, the flash comes in from all across the land. Team 8 is going to almost ace out Team Imagine in their base. Chunky Fresh stays alive as he comes in on the bot side. That's going to be the Nexus turret. This is going to be Team 8 giving it all they got coming into Game 4. And maybe they'll reserve a little bit here. It doesn't look like they fully want it. 5 and 1 second on Moon and Steelback. Definitely gives them something to think about.
Yeah, they still have Baron control. They still have all of these wards around Baron and an enormous advantage. 11,000 gold at 22 minutes. Bottom inhib came up. They weren't able to continue pushing. They didn't have the minion waves. And now they just get to go back to Baron. They get to bait it out again. And you saw Baby landed the hook. But he took it, and it was just a fight they cannot take. It's too late in the game. You're too much of an advantage. You're not going to create it that way.
Baby, again, I don't know how many more have. He is also, or he is on the Elixir of Iron. He used it actually just as he approached the river to make sure he could do so safely. And hopefully these little stats they have start paying off.
Yeah, that was his escape tool. He already used his E, and there's TP from
saving
behind.
the ward, standing on the Lantern. He's taking Baron damage now. What a play coming in from Dodo, and the peace of mind to just strategically knock around Chunky Fresh. That's all Baron damage that Chunky Fresh just took. Nien's going to be able to clean this one up. Actually, Dodo wants to Baron solo him out, so he does so. What a lead they have right now to be so confident about these plays.
You can see there, Steelback's crits are only doing about 200, 300 damage. It's not enough for a Jinx at this point in the game.
Not at all.
It's these tanky members. 4-0 and 10 for Porpoise Pops.
That Talisman of Ascension is finished by Dodo. It will be a Zeke's next, but I don't even know if they're going to have the time to get to that. What a game from Team 8. They're going to go back, get a quick sip, a breather, and head in. The Elixirs of Sorcery coming out. There's the Alacrity Boots and the upgraded Scrying Orb coming in for Nien. They're just kind of putting everything on. A bit of a surplus right now for what you should actually have in the game at 24 minutes. They have been steamrolling through this one.
Now you just go bottom. You shove this wave out.
Yeah, where else to go?
You follow the minion wave. You get Dragon for yourself. Get the third one. Make sure you have that movement speed. Take everything you can. Shove up the bottom wave. Get that inhib. And end the game. It's the multi-step process for Team 8 here. but it's the safest one, and they're going to try to do it right here.
There's the elixir pop from Golden Glue.
You're going to see an engage here from Imagine. They're going to try to go for broke. The way that they get back into this is you have to kill all the damage dealers, but there's still an intervention from Calitrolls. It's just so large the gold advantage. It's almost impossible.
They're linking the same composition, really. He was Shen, gives you a shield. He's Kale, now he gives you a shield. Well, a little bit shorter. Sometimes you die. He did earlier, but they're still kind of getting the same composition they want, so they don't have to change too much. They're running the same thing each time. You're only going to get better at it, and we have seen that throughout the series here from Team 8. Looking at a 14,000 gold lead as they pressure down onto Imagine's base. Chunky Fresh, not the initial hit they want. The cocoon hit. Oh, the shockwave! Whoa! Dodo goes in, the ball delivery cow ball, and that's Calitrolls coming up with a kill along with Dodo. A few more start racking up for the team. Golden Glue picks up a double for himself, and a picture-perfect initiation that only missed Steelback because he was too far back. Gives Team 8 the base. They start to turn it to shambles, and Team 8 will retain their spot in the North American LCS.
And Calitrolls gets to leave the LCS with his team still in it. The legacy is still alive.
Yeah, and very happy to be able to put up some fantastic games at the end of the split. Golden Glue as well, switching his champion pool a tad for the game, but reverting back to the Orianna in the end. And that guy right there for the end of the series, Porpoise, really turning it on. The focus he and Calitrolls had to bring this game to a head was amazing.
We talked about that synergy, Porpoise and Cali owning that game, owning that top lane. And that might be that man's last professional game of League of Legends.
Very true, off the pharmacy school. After this, after a mighty handshake to Team Imagine, who played very well, showing what they did in Game 2, it did raise the question, can they continue to do this? Is that endurance there? Game 2 was completely a change. Maple Street with the high fives. Get back on the white line.
Yeah, the hug between Mien and Chunky Fresh, former teammates. They were both on Fusion together.
Well, adaptation from both teams this game was seen. You just saw the LCS veterans come out a little stronger. And while there were still LCS veterans on the other side, it was a mixed bag the whole season. Changes in the team here, there, just really coming in I think July, or like the beginning of July was when they really solidified everything with the final roster they're rolling with right now.
And both these teams had roster issues, but Team 8 had to bring on a new coach. Slushy from the mid lane brought in Golden Glue.
That's true.
And Maple, we saw him earlier, placed by Nien. They'll play each other in the LCS later on. And that man
very happy
gets to go back to school. Stay in school, kids. But take a year off and play professional League of Legends if you get the chance.
Look at that. Cali really went back to true form here in this game. He went back to Vlad and he went back to Kale for the team.
He got to leave playing his own style, playing the Kale top.
Cool.
Nobody else is playing Kale top.
Right.
He got to have his final game with a champion that nobody else is playing.
That's got to feel good.
It's got to feel fantastic.
The rest of the team as well.
He wanted to shape competitive top lane for a long time. He wanted to inject his style, and he never really got that large opportunity to do so, and this might just be his last hurrah.
It could possibly be. We have seen people come back. Not too many, though. After they leave, they say, I have done well, and Calitrolls has. I mean, not many people reach this stage. It's a dream of pretty much every person that plays. My dream was the stage, but now I'm here. It's still pretty cool. However, the dream for Imagine could still be alive. Definitely a team that has put themselves on the list of many viewers out there and fans as well with that type of play. We saw Moon stepping up, ManCloud as well stepping up in that game, and a little bit from Chunky Fresh as well. I heard that name before, obviously, but never saw too much of him. Definitely somebody to watch.
He was in an expansion tournament previously as well, so he has tried multiple times to get into the LCS, being in almost every Challenger Series since then, and has fallen just short. But this is the furthest that he's come, save for the expansion tournament. But he's always been a very consistent top laner. So Chunky Fresh, we'll still see him around. Moon is a guy we're seeing more and more up and up. Kobe was talking about how he just popped in a solo queue one day.
Who's this Smurf?
Who is this Smurf, right? And now he has so many accounts. He's just getting better over time, and maybe he's going to take that next leap, right? You go from Plat to Diamond. Diamond went to Challenger. Challenger, LCS. next year for him possibly. I know he has his sights set on that, and I feel like a lot of these guys are still around to just stay.
I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of teams are looking at these guys as well. If they don't stay as a full 5 team, then people are going to be like, you're either, you know, going to sub or somebody's out, you're starting, because some very good players on that team right there. In just a few minutes, we will be hearing from Team 8, the winners of the Best of 5 series, to get themselves back into the North American LCS for their promotion tournament here today. But we have one team in, and actually, yeah, one team in. Coast in. I was going to say, wait, 2 teams in, but no.
We have 2 teams in.
Back in. Two teams are in, one back in. And Coast earlier today. So congratulations to Coast, teammate, for grabbing their spot back as well. It was hard fought. They were definitely struggling in the game that Imagine had a lead. They know how to hold it.
Yeah, Imagine really gave them too much rope to work with there, too much slack. True. And that's one of those things where when you go back and watch that replay as Imagine, you have to think, we had this game. We had this game. And then in the 4th game, it looked like they were just still recovering from that previous game. Still recovering from, we had that lead. And that's always the thing, too, when you go into that situation. It's so hard to shake off. We can sit here and say, you know, oh, you just shake it off and go into the next game. But the way you internalize it, the way you think about it, it will still affect your play and scar you a little bit.
Go ahead.
As you keep going through the game, you face check another bush, and you're just like, that's it.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
And you start just feeling defeated. You feel helpless.
The ending, warding without vision, definitely put it. We'll just say warding without vision really started to hurt Imagine there. No names, obviously, but because everybody, it's the one thing you want to pressure that last thing, just that one more second. I don't think anybody's going to be here. That was actually a huge mistake. Oh, maybe this one, that, you know, it just happens in that instance. You obviously don't want it to happen, but you just kind of, you lose the moment.
I ward without vision to get the vision to continue warding.
It makes sense.
It actually does make sense. It's just funny to say I'm warding without vision. Right? But it's absolutely true, because you have to advance your line instead of overextending for it.
Right.
And that's why people love Kalista as a AD carry. If you could go for that ward. Baby could have 100% gone for that ward if he had Kalista as AD carry, so he just pulled out. If you're Alistar, you buy enough time. When you're Nautilus, that's the fallback, and why we don't see so much Nautilus nowadays from the support position, because you're easily caught. You have no move block to get over walls. Braum still has one as well. So.
Well, a fantastic game played in that best of 5 by both teams nonetheless. And right now we're going to send it over to Dash for an insider.